Hit that clap. Hit that clap.
All right, so we're good now. We can officially start or whatever. But I'm not warmed up yet.
How you not warmed up? We're 2 hours into this.
Because Delaney likes it fucking cold in here. My hands is shaking.
I'm used to it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jesus.
You think Gordon Ramsay really works at Subway?
What's the Subway?
What?
Gordon Ramsay.
Undercover? And he starts yelling at him?
No, not Gordon Ramsay. Who's the
Are you
Subway?
Oh, Mason Ramsey.
Mason
bro.
Ramsay.
Who is Mason Ramsey?
That's
The Walmart yodeling kid.
Oh, he probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Y'all see all those like videos, those
No.
TikToks, and he's got a song that's like him at Walmart, or not at Walmart, Subway now.
Like working at Subway?
Yeah.
That's his job.
Apparently, like he makes like $1 million a year, but works at Subway somehow.
Got that work ethic.
Yeah. That's his.
There's
his
no way
parents-
that's true.
He seems like that's the kind of kid whose parents are telling him you got to actually have a job.
He's the one that made the money for his parents.
All the money's
Well, I'm
locked
just
away.
saying this. Yeah.
in
He
a
can't
trust
have
fund.
that. It's all in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's all in
Trust
trust
fund.
Yeah, but it's locked.
Yeah.
It's a multi-sig that has to.
Speaking of Bitcoin, we'll start here, I guess. We'll keep all that. Well, welcome back to the podcast, y'all. I don't know what today's going to be like. It's been a rough day for me. It's been a little somber day. I'm going to keep it real, keep it organic. But today, we got back in the building Bitcoin Papi, a.k.a. Alec. Good lifelong friend of mine. He's back on the show to talk doom and gloom, which is perfect because that's what I need to hear today. And, of course, we got Kyle in the building, as always. And then, most importantly, this one's for her right here.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, she complained about gunshots, so I got some new gunshots for her. This is Golden House Entertainment back recording us. We got a new camera set up today. We're trying some new shit. Hopefully I can curse now. If not, we'll take care of it. What's going on? We bleeping everything out. Okay, we bleeping everything out today. So is it the uncensored version part 2?
Let's go.
Alec has to show everything this time.
What does that mean?
You gotta show it all.
We showed everything.
Yeah,
I watched that episode and I didn't see that part.
That's because we edited it all out. We took our titties out and everything. Yeah. This is it was like a misnomer, you know?
Yeah.
All for clickbait.
Clickbait, yeah.
So Gordon Ramsay, what's his real name? Mason Ramsay?
Mason Ramsey. That's a completely different person.
No, they're pretty similar.
They both.
In what way?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I was talking about kind of starting off the episode. It was a
Blonde hair.
somber. It was a somber episode or a somber day for me today. I kind of like woke up and our rat today. I want to give a moment of silence for Schiff. Let's give a moment of silence, a quick one. And we come back. I still love him. He's still awesome, but he's not doing well. That's my girlfriend, Nikki's rat. He is kind of at the end of life, and she's going through something today. So, he's going through something today.
It's in the ICU.
No, he's in the cage downstairs, not really moving, kind of laying on his side. And there's nothing really we can do because he's 2 years old already. And it's kind of at that point where, like, they only have that 2-year life cycle. Rats are like that, especially if you don't have them in packs. They don't live that long, but then packs are way more maintenance and stuff like that.
You said 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
That's
but
a short lifespan.
Well, in the wild, they only live for like 6 months.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
So I guess this podcast, we're already starting back in our pet bag. You were telling me the other day you had some interesting pet news, though.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, first of all.
Thank you. We finally got our dog, Mary
Yeah.
Jane.
You want to give a little insight onto
There was a little bit of a child custody battle.
a child
over that.
custody battle? We don't have to get into it too much, but basically you were saying that you give the story.
It was an ex situation with Maddie and the dog, but it's all resolved now. So she's at home.
Yeah.
She's at home.
Mary's your dog, your white dog, and now y'all have her for good.
Yep.
And she loves it. She's living life.
Oh, she's loving
She
it.
live, laugh, loves.
Loving it.
What kind of dog?
Our dog, white. It's a white German Shepherd Husky.
Look at Alec with the good co-hosting skills. Yeah. And then I was talking to you, Alec, just the other day, maybe yesterday. I was asking, like, how much do you have cats and a dog?
Yes.
Shout out
Got a
to your
little
cats
winner.
and dog.
Yep.
And I was asking you, like, who do you give more attention to? Do you give more attention to your cats or your dog?
Oh, it's the dog, and it's not even close.
Really?
It's so not close that I feel ashamed about
I was
it.
about to ask, like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, before we got the dog, we would pay a lot more attention to the cats, but
It's
I don't know. It's
the new kid. It's the youngest, the baby.
It's the youngest. Why do Why do you think that's the thing that you do, that you pay the dog more attention than the cats? Is it like the relationship or the pure vibes that he gives you?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like the feedback.
The feedback. There you go.
Cats are very solo
independent
to themselves.
Although I do think that, I don't know if they have feelings or whatever, but sometimes I can tell, like, hey, why are you not ever hanging out with me?
You don't think that animals have feelings?
Right.
You don't think that animals have feelings?
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Yeah,
but I guess they can't like contemplate it.
You
can't express them.
You
as
can't
easily.
understand them.
Maybe so.
I feel like the cats might just be depressed all the time. Did you know that dogs and shit are depressed all the time?
I didn't mean to interrupt. Did you know that cats, the only reason they meow is to talk to humans?
That's what I heard, that they only started like doing that like as a means to talk to humans, and they can just communicate with themselves like quietly.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, we're already here with a podcast fact. This is going to be a weird episode. This is our second attempt at doing 3 people. The first one is the lost episode that'll probably never come out. We had some technical difficulties, which it was what prompted me to go ahead and kind of get all like the equipment and just upgrade everything as far as mics and stuff like that, so I wasn't having any audio issues. We had to scrap that whole episode, and it was supposed to be the Christmas episode. I think we kind of talked about that, but this is the Groundhog Day episode. This is the post Valentine's Day episode. We'll get into that in a little bit. But as far as just, I guess, our news, I got some kind of I had this situation. It's not really a situation. So I've been at work all, like, just every holiday I work. So like holidays really don't mean a lot to me. I kind of they just come and go because I have to work everyone, because like the job I have is nice. It has benefits and all these things, but what kind of comes with that? Hold on, let me mute my phone because I've been a bad host. What comes with that is some things you have to sacrifice. I mean, I work like very little hours, but you know, like the pay makes up for it. It all works out, but the main bad thing is that I have to work holidays. And so they literally just don't mean anything to me anymore. So Valentine's Day, I had to work. And so me and Nikki didn't get to do anything. So the next day we were supposed to go get sushi. That place was closed. So we went just get some Thai food and stuff like that. But the main thing we were trying to do was get our nails done. And I was walking up to do my nails. And I was like, hey, you think they have like the fish that I can put with my feet? Like, to where they like bite your feet for the pedicure? And she's like, no, I don't think piranhas. So. Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Piranhas. I've seen it though. I have seen.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I don't know if it's a thing that's allowed here, but we get to the salon, and I'm sitting in the chair, and I look up, and like as the woman tells me to sit down, she starts messing. She has a fish tank, and got a bunch of little tiny fish, and she starts like scooping them around and feed them and stuff like that. And I was like, no way, they actually have that here. No way. And then so it turns out that the woman that owns or helps work the salon, her boyfriend is like really big into fish, and he breeds them and stuff like that. And that was just some little ones that he didn't have room for, so he put them at her place.
So they're just for show.
They're just for show, but I thought my feet were going to get sucked by some, or my toes were going to get sucked by some fish. I was kind of excited for it. But I got some extra for that. Yeah, I got a nice little clear coat. Check that out.
I saw that. That's cute.
Oh, you saw that?
Right when you were mentioning it, I looked down at your nails and I said, they look good.
And they're nice, huh?
They look nice.
Yeah.
How you like mine, Kyle?
They look like mine. Old natural.
Old natural.
Old natural. Yeah. I'm a delicate person. But that's another thing, too, that we were talking about. I was sitting there talking with the lady while she was doing my nails. She's saying, like, her male clientele has been increasing a lot lately, but sometimes they come back and they have to take off their nails because they're going into work. And let's say they work in service industry and stuff like that. And people see that. They tip them less. Or they, like, talk to them with disrespect, like, stuff like that. Because you just know how kind of, like, conservative the South is.
Yeah.
And everyone judges you based off of how you look, your religion, your creeds, or all your beliefs and everything like that. I think the least important thing to judge people off of is like how you look. But I mean, it makes sense. You kind of have to realize that, like, fuck, if I work at this place and I'm the dude and I want to have like pink fingernails, like these other dudes is coming in aren't going to tip me as much because of that. You kind of have to weigh that out. I'm always the person that, like, I appreciate people going out of the way for artistic expression or just doing what they want to do to make themselves feel better. But I'm also the person that always going to tell them that, hey, you just have to realize that what comes with that. You kind of have to know what comes with the territory. I guess it's an opportunity cost. And Alex shaking his head. Yeah, the opportunity cost, I hit him. So back today, like I said, armchair economist, Bitcoin Papi, a.k.a. Alec. Super Bowl just happened. I think we kind of got what I think.
You watched it, huh?
I was at work. That's another thing. I was working during that, and I watched most of it. We had kind of talked about it, and again, I was telling you before, like, I don't know shit about sports. But,
I'll be your sports expert.
Yeah, well, then how about you take over this little segment right here already? Let's jump on the Super Bowl because that's the most recent news that's been going on.
Well, obviously, the Rams are the world champions now. So congrats to them.
Congrats.
That's
to them.
cool.
Is that what you thought was going to happen? I forgot.
I kind of had a feeling.
Yeah, did you bet? Did you
I
put
did
money on
not.
it?
I did not lose any money on that game.
That's another thing we got to get into, the betting with just so much money and shit going around. We kind of talked about that last time, but go ahead anyway.
Oh no! So like, they ended up winning on like a last minute touchdown. Kind of caught me by surprise because it was going one way, and the Bengals kind of caught up to them, and then they pulled it out. And it was like there was an issue with the officiating because the whole game, like I think they had called maybe 2-3 flags, and then the last 2-3 minutes of the game they had like 5 or 6 penalties. So it's gets in our whole conspiracy theories
that we were talking
how controlled
about
that game
time.
is.
Do you think there's any like validity to that, Alec? Like the thought that it's all controlled because at the end of the day it's all pure entertainment, just like the thought and theories that people like control and manipulate what they show on news to make you watch more, or like they orchestrate these games.
Yeah,
because we were saying that, like, I don't mean to cut you off, but to wrap that up, we were talking about like with the whole Cap leaving NFL or getting blackballed from NFL, like how many people turned away from the NFL with kneeling and stuff like that. And we could get back into that because Eminem took a knee during the halftime. I know we're jumping all over.
Yeah, I
There's
actually
a lot
didn't even know. Like I saw him kneel down, but I didn't connect it.
Apparently, they told him not to do that, but he did it anyway. But
what a madman!
But that's what we were saying. That like it's all just business, and like what's the most entertainment? Like how close these games have been and stuff like that. Recently, going back into it, this has been like apparently one of the most watched Super Bowls in a minute, and the most retention that NFL has had in a minute as well. I don't know what your whole take on all that.
Validity to it. Like the thing I know for sure is that all those players are not in on it.
Yeah.
So
well, they're not really the ones that control it. It's
I think
the
they're
owners and the.
Yeah, I mean I think there are proven cases. I think there's something on Netflix, but this is the NBA. There was some referee in the NBA he got in legal trouble. He was betting on outcomes of games because he knew how that specific ref was going to call specific people. Wow. Like he would be more lenient on LeBron, or I don't know enough about basketball, but I mean, there's definitely stuff that is verified, stuff going on with the refs. But I don't know. I can't say how much validity there is, but I do know like when I see something happen and like it's clearly
that's like the go-to excuse is like when a team loses, like the refs. It's like fuck the refs.
Yeah,
that's why nobody likes them. But
well, I mean, like the refs are hired by the NFL, right? Like it's not a third party thing. Like they are. Yeah,
they're elite employees. Yeah.
So it's like. Yeah, like they have their...
But the NFL is still making the money at the end of the day.
Yeah, it all goes back. It's like,
so it's like
what you were saying, it's insider trading almost. Like he's known the outcome before.
See, the thing, like you just don't know what's going to happen. So you can't say there's a plan every time. But I don't know. Like even the commentators, whenever it happened, like this specific game in the Super Bowl, so it was 3rd down and goal for the Rams. And Stafford threw a pass. It was incomplete. So it was 4th down. If they didn't score... I think the Bengals would have won, but
they called another flag.
It was a holding call, and it showed the replay, and it was like not really like it's ambiguous. And then the commentators, literally, one was like, oh, "So what do you think about that call?" And the other guy was like, "Well, that's how he's calling it." And you just listen to it, and you're like, "This is a joke, right?"
Yeah.
Like I know it can't be perfect, but at the same time, it's like.
But in
one call can change everything.
Well, and how big of a game that is to where like they have to get the officiating right. It's not something that's they can just leave up to chance.
I feel like they need more leeway to like go after the fact and maybe like change their mind. Like,
they have done that. Like I remember whenever there was the whole big deal a couple years ago with the Saints and like the whole they went playing against the Rams.
That's what changed my whole mind about it. Like when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's just
and then after that, they changed the rules that like the coaches can challenge calls made on the field.
Yeah.
I remember watching this thing one time that was how the instant replay was created because they had just started filming like games and stuff like that. It might have been in baseball, and one of the teams had thought the refs made a bad call, so they had thought to go back and watch the footage that they had just played, and then it has become since then a thing that you can do, go back and watch the camera, watch the replay like live as it happens because we have the technology. But back to what you're saying as far as like making calls like later on, that was kind of something that happened with this year's F1 championship. The last 2 people that had, it was Verstappen and my guy, I can't think of my guy right now.
I didn't know you
drives for Mercedes. Yeah, I'm kind of like a casual F1 like nerd, and I can't think of his fucking name right now. I feel like an idiot. Anyway, so basically,
Dale Earnhardt.
No, it's not Dale Earnhardt.
We wouldn't know regardless.
It's one of those things that like I appreciate the technology and the science that goes behind it. he's the only black driver that's in F1, and I can't think of his name. Lewis Hamilton, that's his name. I'm just like fucking drawing a big ass blank right now. So it was a big thing. Like he was poised as like the victor this season, and they made a bunch of weird calls in the last few races. It was very controversial, and they're saying that next season when it comes back, they still haven't actually decided. They may revoke Verstappen, which drives for Ferrari's first place championship. And stuff like that. So it's like things that can happen post. But
what was it? It was like
a penalty.
Yeah, it was like a close like finish or something.
Some bad calls. Bad calls in the
what
race.
Penalties are
Like
in a
flicking
race?
each other off while they're driving.
No, like purposely cutting people off. You can get yellow flagged and stuff like that. You can get minus deduction for points for just so many different cheating. If you like if you have something on your car that's not legal, all kind of.
So
like
how
calls.
does it? I've never understood this.
How do you call that
driving.
live though?
There's race officials that watch all the corners of every single corner of the track.
Oh, but it affects how does it affect that race in live in game? Oh, okay.
So it's like you can still do the race, but how you score at the end of the race is like depending on what happened during the race.
Your placing doesn't actually matter then, is what you're saying?
Your placing does matter, but if you do things that affect your cleanness of the race, if you're cheating, if you're cutting people off, if you're wrecking, if you're doing all these things, causing these interruptions to the race, you get these penalties. They're time penalties and they're points penalties. It's a point system. You ever played Mario Kart?
Yeah.
So
it's like the points at the end of the game,
it's just
the race.
That's what I was wondering too.
Okay,
how
that
you
makes sense.
judge?
That makes sense.
Like, so there's a balance between the driver has skills, but also is every car equal in like
there's
technical
limitations.
quality?
So basically, there's a set of rules, which is the formula. That's why it's called Formula One. So you have to follow the formula. And I'm a very casual like fan of it. That I'm really into more of like just the design of the cars, the science of it, all this stuff. It's very entertaining to me. But the races are actually cool too. But so you follow the formula, there's certain things, and basically how you win is how much you can cheat the formula, how much you can take advantage of the cars while staying in the formula. So it's kind of this thing where like it's always, the rules change every year because people are trying to, like one year they had created this vacuum underneath this car. And it turned on and it created lots of negative pressure on the car. So it sucked the car closer to the road so it could turn way sharper. It had a lot of downforce. Yeah, so shit like that. They have had
that
in the past.
legal?
It was, and then the next year's season it wasn't. They've had 6-wheel cars. They've had all kind of crazy shit.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
So everyone has to follow like a very specific formula as far as engine size, how much money they can spend, how many engines they actually have, how many drivers they can only have. So many things, and there's constructor rules. It's a lot of rules, but it's the formula.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I guess
Never knew that.
Back to football though. Back to I don't know where we jumped off on the last segue. What were we saying?
Just like the officiating.
Oh yeah, the calls. So I mean, y'all know more about this than me. I'll take back over.
I don't know. Like it was very, very iffy.
Iffy.
Very suspicious.
And the whole concept is that it's just trying to make a more.
Well,
the Rams won. It was supposed to be like in their hometown.
Yeah, it was their. They were playing at home in LA. They NFL and just like the gambling. This is my hypothesis. Yeah. They're making more money if the Rams win. It's a bigger franchise. Like they have more money. More people are invested in it. It's in LA. It's like the epicenter of power, kind of just in general. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can see how they would make more. The league as a whole would make more money if they won, and that's what happened.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely makes sense. There was a lot of money spent on this halftime show, which we can get into later. There's a lot of money spent on commercials and stuff like that. But speaking of that, we'll jump into our next part of our Super Bowl deconstruction. There's a lot of crypto trading, or not trading, but advertisements going on. There was that, it was, y'all were talking about it actually, and I'll kind of give this brief thing. So it was a commercial where just the Coinbase logo was floating away.
It was nothing. It was literally just a QR code.
It was a QR code, and it was floating around the screen. And I was working, and a guest had asked me if the game was on at the bar, and I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, y'all can go sit in, because they had just finished eating at my table. And they were like, we want to go sit in the bar and watch it. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. There's probably a room. So they go in there, and they're like, oh, I think the game's off. And I'm like, there's no way it's off. They have to be playing. I walk in there, that commercial's playing. And I was like, oh, maybe we lost signal or something like that. And they were like, oh, okay, well, we're just going to go hurry up and go to our friend's house and watch it.
That's the technical support.
It looks like it was made with like a VHS filter from the 90s. Like,
yeah,
it was old.
And it was just very, very simple moving around. And I guess we can try and post something about it to people who can see it. But you were saying, Alec, that there was something that had came of that.
What do you mean?
Didn't you say like something happened at the website because of how much traffic it had?
Oh, see, I think it might have been someone else who said that, but it probably did crash.
Yeah.
Coinbase tends to crash a lot.
Yeah.
Coinbase is not very
millions of people
okay,
trying to access it at once.
So for people that don't really understand what Coinbase is, Alex, since this is kind of your level of armchair expertise, can you give a brief description of what Coinbase is and what is it used for?
Coinbase is an exchange for cryptocurrency, just like the same way, you know, New York Stock Exchange, or you'd go on TD Ameritrade, trade stocks. It's just the same thing for crypto.
Is it considered a marketplace, or is it?
It's a market, yeah. Yeah.
So crypto or Coinbase handles the transactions of
it matches
real currency, or not real currency, but what's the terminology? Liquid cat, like fungible. What's the fucking? See, this is so many terminology. Fiat currency.
Fiat, yes.
Fiat is cash, is what we use every day, right?
Yeah.
So it handles the transaction of fiat currency into non-fiat.
Yeah, you can trade. I mean, you can trade between two cryptos also, but it is an on ramp from fiat
on-ramp. There you go.
To these different assets. So you don't technically need it. It's just one way to do it.
Because there's different platforms you can use, right?
Yeah, there's one called Kraken, and there are other ways you can do it. They kind of have like they have like escrow systems kind of set up to where I think there's a website called Hodl, and it's basically the same way. You can buy Bitcoin with dollars, but it's not. I don't think there's any what's called KYC, like know your customer. When you get on Coinbase, they say, hey, scan your driver's license for me real quick.
Yeah.
They want all your information. So that's just one way to buy these things that it's like more heavily regulated.
Do you think Coinbase is fairly secure? Because like whenever you had first started talking about it, and we had like played around with Chainlink and stuff like that a while back, and then it turned into the Link or whatever. That's what we used was Coinbase.
Yeah,
that's what I
I'd
used.
say it's as secure as any other like tech company can be.
Was it?
It's more of like a beginner,
gotcha.
A beginner kind of thing. Like it's the most recognizable. And it's also, I mean, it's a good platform. Like I'm not gonna dig on it. It's just more user friendly.
It was very user friendly. Like the operating system and the interface and everything just made sense.
And they list. It seems like they list basically any crypto out there. Like they'll just fucking list anything.
Is that good or bad?
It's good for them. But there are some places where you can like only buy Bitcoin and a couple other ones. But I mean, you'll get on Coinbase and you'll see, hey, we just listed Musk coin, Elon coin, or something.
Thong coin.
Yeah, and you go look at the chart, and it's like people see the notification that it listed, and hey, I'm gonna buy some, and it just spikes, and they come straight back down.
And what is the thing where people? It's kind of like penny trading, I guess. But what's the idea behind people like trying to hop on something early? Like, if you want to explain that to the guests.
Well,
like let's say they bought that. Why do people want to buy those little minuscule stocks?
Gambling because so if you think about like a stock, so there are X amount of shares just outstanding out there, and every share is worth, let's just say $100. If you multiply those two numbers together, you get what's called market cap. And that's basically the value of something. Like Apple has like a $2 trillion market cap or whatever it is. Might be 3 by now, I don't even know. But the smaller it is, the less money it takes to move the price. So when you have these really new coins, like you can go look at the market cap or the volume trading, and they're like so small, like the price, that's why the price can move so much very quickly.
It's very volatile.
And if you happen to time it, it's extremely volatile. And you can make a lot of money, but you can also
it's a lot more risky.
You can buy it, and even when you're seeing it going up, you could think it's going to keep going a little bit further, and then you miss it and it crashes. Like that's the kind of shit that happens.
It's really weird to think about like how much power the internet has over all that shit. Like just what happened with Dogecoin. Like it's literally like a meme coin that was created, and then people decided to start backing it, and then it became worth something because of the amount of people trading and stuff like that. Kind of the same thing that happened with GameStop and AMC, right? Like that whole situation was just like people on Twitter, like keyboard warriors.
The stock thing was more complicated. So they're like,
what happened exactly with that?
I might butcher this a little bit because it's kind of complicated.
My basic understanding was that people on Reddit kind of got together and decided, hey, like here's a way for us to win. Let's do this.
Well, it was only wasn't it because like they were like the stockbrokers were betting that it wasn't going to go up.
Yes.
They were
so they
against
discovered, the people on Reddit, they discovered that there were all these hedge funds, or I don't know the names of the hedge funds, but
okay, describe a hedge fund.
Well, it's just a bunch of people with a lot of money.
You did before previously.
Basically, these guys on Wall Street, they were thinking to themselves, GameStop is going to go down because obviously this shit
looks
is out of
like
style.
it. Yeah.
So they were shorting it, and what happens when you short it is you borrow the stock from someone else, and then you sell it
to other people.
Yeah, and so it's betting against the price going down. Instead of when you buy stock, you're hoping it goes up. You're shorting it, you think it's going to go down.
It's like a very simple explanation. I borrowed $20 from you, and then I bet on something that I thought was easily going to win, like a coin toss, and I thought I was going to double my money, but I lost that money. Right? Is that like what they're hoping, that they would win that coin toss, win the 40, then give you back the 20, and they're up?
Right.
It's using someone else's money.
But what happened is if the price goes up, if it goes the other way on you, you have to get shares to give back to the people that you borrowed them from.
So you're out of your
only
pocket.
have so many shares.
And that's what's called a short squeeze. So all the people who are shorting, they have to buy now in order to fulfill all. They borrowed so many, they have to give them back to the person they borrowed them from, which causes the price to spike up. It's called a short squeeze, which is what happened with AMC and GameStop and stuff like that. The people on Reddit realized how many short positions there were on the stocks, and they knew it was going to happen. And then they went and bought and held, I guess. And they just waited while they all freaked out. Like literally people on Wall Street were freaking out because of these people on the internet.
That's wild. Before you get into too much more doom and gloom, would you mind moving your mic closer to your mouth? You can just pull it toward, because no, you're getting comfortable. You're getting in your bag now. You can just move it a little bit to your left side or whatever, like to where.
How about this?
Yeah, just listen to yourself talk. We have the technology. Anyway, all those like terminologies for all the things that happen, like the scams basically, or like the processes that happen when money's exchanged, really kind of freak me out. Like when you find out like how pyramid schemes work, and they just keep taking money from the people that coming in as investing and then spreading it amongst the people at the top. And you eventually can't please everyone. Yeah. Like it's one of those things where it's just, I don't know, it's pretty crazy. But they did have some, they had that LeBron commercial. I thought that was really cool. And crypto.com put this one on. I think it was crypto.com crypto.com official. Did y'all see this one?
I think I missed this one.
It was LeBron and he's like CGI'd into, we'll watch it real quick. I guess we'll figure out.
History.
All right, we got it right here. We'll figure this out. We'll make some edits and stuff like that, I guess.
I can't tell you everything, but if you want to make history, you gotta call your own shots.
We going to the league. We going to the league.
I like how they put Dre in there.
Yeah, so there's so many things to talk about in this.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it even about?
It's like a crypto commercial. So it's a way, I think, to get all the people that are sports fans that are into betting and stuff like that in the cryptocurrency and the stuff like that. Hey, invest in us now. We're going to make some money from those transactions, and you potentially may make money, but it's also one of those things, the more people are in it trading, the more value it has, correct? Is that like the whole goal?
Yeah, well, I mean, what crypto.com wants, it's the same thing as Coinbase. They want people on their platform trading, and they get the fees.
Right.
But all you really have to do is put Bitcoin on the screen. All you have to do is buy and hold it. You don't even have to go back to Coinbase.
For people,
never have to use them again.
Yeah. Oh wait. What'd you say?
You just buy and hold Bitcoin. You don't have to.
You have to use it once, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Buy Bitcoin. You're still standing on that 100%.
100%.
Yeah. That's kind of like the whole thing we talked about. Oh, excuse me. Last time, as far as Super Bowl stuff, so the Rams have won. Have y'all seen this?
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier.
Hollywood has changed their sign to Rams House, and it looks so
like
bad.
Shit.
You remember when they did Hollyweed?
When they legalized it?
Yeah. No, whenever like two random people came up and like...
Oh, they just vandalized it. Yeah.
Yeah. That looked better than
like
this.
Vandalism.
This looks like vandalism.
Horrible.
This looks like shit. And this is something that like LA did.
It was the government?
That looks like government work.
It says Rams House, but it looks like shit, bro.
I thought it said Rams lose.
Rams
They had that ready to go. That's why it looks kind of weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that happened. Also, we can jump into our nerd bag in a little bit, but the news, one news, NFL itself, they published like whatever they were filming, and The Rock introduced it. They introduced him as the guy from Fortnite, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and it said the guy from Fortnite. What? Yeah, so the NFL posted The Rock Super Bowl introduction to YouTube and called him the guy from Fortnite in the title.
Wow.
You know those memes? Like, it's just like, whenever we knew who Naruto was, but then like your kids growing up are gonna be like, oh, that's the
really
guy,
the guy from Fortnite.
He's not that old. Like, we're not. I don't know. The Rock's not that old.
No, I think it's just funny
Fortnite's
internet
just
shit.
so massive.
Can I go on a rant for a little bit?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Why do we keep supporting The Rock? he's just kind of shitty dude. Like
He's shitty.
he's just like,
You ever seen The Pacifier?
well, I don't. But that's the Vin Diesel, bro.
No.
That's Vin Diesel.
That is Vin Diesel.
Okay, so what's the one
Like,
with
he's
The
just
Rock
like-
and he has that little daughter that he
That's the game
protects her?
plan. That's
The game plan.
The game plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's
No.
Fast and Furious.
Oh, this is family. Speaking
No.
of family, too, I wanted to get this little segment off before Kyle rants. I guess I should have said this before. Golden House Entertainment, again, is shooting. That's actually Alex's lovely wife that he had talked about last time. Just as a little full circle moment, show him that wedding ring you have on your hand. I see
Here
it
it is.
dancing and shining.
Here it is.
Yeah, who are you married to again? Why don't you give a shout out to
Who
her?
am I married to? This
Yeah.
beautiful woman behind the camera, who I guess is not going to come in front of the camera.
No, she's not
One
going to
day.
come in front of the
One day.
camera. But a Golden House Entertainment, again, on Facebook, Instagram, all the socials, Twitter, I believe, as well. No, not on Twitter, but soon, possibly. Anyway, we'll stay out of Twitter news for now because there was some local drama going on with
So
that.
anyway,
No,
Go
he
on
hit
your
the
rant
Rock.
about the
No, he's
pacifier.
just not the pacifier. The Rock. He's just like this poster boy that everybody. He's supposed to be super likable.
Yeah.
But it's like every other movie is starring The Rock. It's just
he's just milking it.
I mean, you
yeah.
could-
I'm just kind of over it.
I mean, it sells. It continues to break
Yeah, that's just like-
blockbusters every time. People are buying it. You're not
Buy
one of
garbage
the,
all the
True.
time.
like
We got to stop buying it.
it's like McDonald's. McDonald's just keeps putting out the same shit, but they're gonna keep fucking buying it every
They
single
just
day.
rebranded as a new package meal. This is the
You get a new toy.
yeah.
New toy. Well,
exactly.
he just gets a new role and a new little outfit, but it's the same thing, same manufacturer.
I don't know. I just don't like him.
You don't like him? Why don't you? What don't you like about him specifically?
There's nothing specific. It's
Are
just
you
What did he
jealous that
say?
he's The Rock?
What did
He's
he say?
buff.
no. He's just like I just don't care for the dude. That's all.
I think the thing that is kind of cool, he represents his culture a lot in media, and that's like something that's
Is it
not
Hawaiian?
really. Yeah, or I don't know if that's the correct terminology. That
It's
might
like
be
it's something else.
Yeah, but every time he sings in a Disney movie or he does anything, he talks a lot about his culture and stuff like that. And he does enough to where, I can't really necessarily say exactly what his culture is. I guess we could look that up. Kyle, you want to look up what exact thing while we talk about it?
Let's go.
But I think it's cool that he represents
Why do I
that.
hate The Rock? That's what he's going to type in.
Yeah. No, because you don't see people that really like, for lack of better terms, like bang their set, like bang their culture like he does. He's always talking about, this is where I'm from. This is, where I've come from, and represents it, has it tattooed on him. And he's a AAA like celebrity that's just out here and really like always in the spotlight and stuff like that.
Yeah, he is.
But why?
What?
But why?
Is that where he's from?
No. That's I'm just saying.
Oh, but
is
why?
he-
What?
Why
Because
is
people
he
buy
was-
it. Because people continue to like it. He's built a
that's my
fan
point.
base steady on from WWE or WWF, wherever the fuck he's from. You should look that up too. WWE.
He is.
And he's brought those people. He had value in those people. That was already an asset he had. Then Hollywood picked him up. He had all those fans already, and then he developed more fans. He tied along the Fast and Furious franchise. It just keeps building and building and building, and it's just lots of people coming. with
Samoan.
him. Samoan. Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
Leave us a comment how much you hate The Rock, too.
Leave us a comment if you like Samoan cookies from the Girl Scouts, because that's the fucking
Samoas.
best cookies.
Those are Samoas.
Yeah, they're Samoan, right? They're coconut and little chocolate drizzle.
Is that where that name comes from?
It's literally the same name, but what it
Okay,
has.
but I
You ever
don't
seen
know
the
if they were
meals he
related.
eats?
The meals.
The meals? He like posts pictures of his meals or
Oh,
something.
his meal
No.
prep
And
and
it's like
whatever.
3 entrees for dinner or something.
That dude is always in the gym.
Yeah.
So you hate him, but he's in Fortnite. He's in everything. Speaking of Fortnite, dude, I played Fortnite the other day. I got on that damn game because I play with some young boys from work. And they're like 20, and they're like into that shit. And I just got bored, and I bought a skin. I bought $20 skin. And just played the game. Yeah, I won the first game. Okay.
See, okay. That's how they get you.
Yeah, it's you play
They put
against
you in a
bots
shitty
or
lobby
whatever.
and they
give you
Yeah,
bots,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, dude, this shit is like stupid. I'm not playing this.
Did you
Like,
play as The Rock?
No, I played as some little anime girl, of course.
Of course.
Kyle just hunts down The Rock every time he plays Fortnite. He just finds the guy who's dressed as The Rock.
You ever played
He doesn't even
Fortnite?
shoot anyone else.
I've never played Fortnite.
No.
No.
So we can jump into some nerd news now. We'll do a new transition, I guess, into that. Since we're jumping on Fortnite, and I guess we're kind of off. Y'all have anything else about the Super Bowl? Y'all want to wrap that up?
We need to talk about halftime show.
Halftime show. Okay,
Yeah.
we can do that. Halftime show. Let's do that in a little bit.
All right.
Let's break
Swap
away
it
from the
around.
sport news for a little bit because I can already
It's
tell.
more music news anyway.
Yeah. The ladies already want to turn that off. They don't want to hear about sports. What they do want to hear about is nerd news, though. Nerd news. So the Sims 4 expansion will not be released in Russia. Of course, we have Russian news, which can bring us into some world stuff, due to the anti-gay law that Russia has. So this is a post by a controller on Instagram. My Wedding Stories, a new expansion for Sims 4 will not be released in Russia as it violates federal law. Russia, 2013 Russian law forbids materials that promote non-traditional sexual relationships. This central expansion of the story focused on Dom and Kat, both of whom were women and thus violate the Russian law.
So you can't get married in Russia? Is that what it is?
Well, I don't think you can promote. It's saying you can't promote anything.
That's
like
what I was
media.
thinking too. Yeah.
But I don't. Is it against the law to get married though?
I don't know, but it's saying that you can't, promote that, just like you're saying. Just like we have laws where we can't promote tobacco and like children's stuff or any commercials really anymore.
You know what I realized? I found out the other day. Have you ever noticed how in all beer and like alcohol commercials, they never show them actually drinking it? They're just always holding like a beer.
Maybe they can't. Maybe it's a thing.
It was pointed out to me, and it's a thing apparently. It's
one of those things.
It's like some kind of marketing law. You can't actually show the
People
actors drinking the alcohol. Yeah,
They
they're
like
always
the
holding it.
medication. How instead of taking the medication, they show them like walking in the park and having a great day.
It's nothing related to it at all.
No, I think that's just Hollywood tropes. But it's one.
But look for it now. I'm telling you.
It's one of those weird things where it's like, if it's free media that's access to anybody, they can't show it. But if you pay for it, it's behind a paywall. They can show whatever the fuck they want, like titties and beer and drugs and all that stuff, all the usual stuff. But Russia, man, Russia's going crazy right now. They're literally trying to go on a 20 kill streak and get that nuke. They are doing some wild stuff. And I guess we can jump into that. That was a very short nerd news segment. No, actually, here's some more. Spider-Man No Way Home is the third highest grossing movie in the U.S., which is with $760 million, surpassing, I think, the Titanic and Avatar.
What are the other two?
I think the other two are Titanic.
Maybe the other two are. No, Avatar was at 760.5 million.
Endgame was over $1 billion, though, right? Or is that worldwide?
Is that adjusted for inflation?
That has its views. It's not inflation. No, it is
a dollar amount.
Maybe so. Look, I don't have. This is a podcast. I don't have to have exact. I can have false news, right? I can't have a fact checker and be the host and everything else. That's what Kyle's the fact checker here today. So that being said, I still have not fucking watched the movie.
You got to get on that.
I haven't seen any of the Tom Holland ones.
No, really. He's a good actor. He's in Uncharted. Speaking of other stuff, that
so Endgame and The Force Awakens in the U.S.
Are you serious? The Force Awakens. Wait, is that like a total like of all like over the whole time since they've been released?
It says initial gross not adjusted for inflation.
Okay,
that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. So this is all. I need the asterisk then.
It's actually only $50,000 instead of $760.
In other nerd news, Sony will plant a tree for everyone who unlocks the Reach the Daunt trophy in Horizon Forbidden West, which is their new game. You were kind of talking about Horizon earlier.
Yeah, there was something on Twitter going around about how like you can see Aloy's beard, and it's just her peach fuzz. She's like the main character in the game.
Okay, so we'll show that, I guess. So what you were saying, we'll put that in later.
It's just like some dudes getting mad. What do they call it?
You explain it.
It's nothing to explain. It's just like people are just getting mad. It's like, oh, she got a beard.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, okay, all women have that. It's not a beard.
Wait, a beard?
So basically what had happened is
layer of thin hair.
Sony had posted a picture and it's basically saying, look how good our graphics are. It looked like, and it was an up close shot of the main character, and you could see some facial hair on her, like not like beard, but everyone has like hair on their body, like we're all human. And everyone was in the comments apparently saying, Kyle was saying earlier that why does homegirl have a beard basically? And everyone's roasting in the comment and like, say you've never been around a woman without saying you've never been around a woman. It's like if you're around people long enough, you realize that everybody has fucking body hair. Like it's natural, and people just expect, because graphics have been so shitty in the past, they never knew they had women because they never talked to real women. So now that graphics are So now the graphics are getting better
now
to show that.
Yeah, but they are planting a tree for every time someone reaches this achievement. So that's a pretty cool thing. Apparently, this achievement is fairly easy to reach. Sony is announcing their Play and Plant program, partnering with the Arbor Day Foundation. This initiative will help forest restoration projects in Wisconsin, California, and Florida. It's estimated that 288,000 trees are needed to complete these restoration projects. again, it says the Reach the Daunt trophy is unlocked early in the story, so accessing it you won't have to grind and do all kind of stuff for it, which is pretty cool because it's always when you're feeling rewarded for playing a video game. It's one of those feel good things when people sell NFTs and they donate like a portion of it to like another thing. They're like, oh, we're taking all this money, but look what we're doing with it. It's a marketing thing, but it is also a good cause. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool.
That's dope.
Yeah. As far as nerd news, I guess that wraps it up. Have y'all kind of been, this is something I've not really been paying attention too much because I've just been living in my own problems and navigating life and trying to produce and just doing so much stuff to put out content, life, relationships, learning, cats, world, work, holidays, shit I don't care about. But Russia, have y'all been kind of realizing what's going on with that? Y'all been paying kind of close attention?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, this is... It's hard to have enough knowledge on that. Like,
yeah. I don't know if y'all can one of y'all can kind of give a breakdown of what's been happening. I know.
So they're like invading, they're planning to, or they are already invading Ukraine.
They're like building up forces on the border,
yeah.
I think. And they're kind of just testing the waters, putting their feet in the water real quick.
Just dip the toe.
Then they're kind of just seeing what the reaction is going to be.
Well, there hasn't been any
so far. It's kind
right?
of just been not much. I think we had some troops like ready to go, or they were going to go out there. I don't know if they actually did, like a few thousand.
What would happen if we go out there or the U.S. puts troops and then it's a war between the U.S. and Russia? Or
I don't know. Like I don't know where Ukraine fits in all the alliances, like in NATO. I don't know if they're a part of NATO.
I don't know. I wouldn't imagine if they're doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Like like Kyle said, what happens? We were talking about this kind of the other day off camera that we were talking, do we expect like a third world war? What comes with that? Is it more cyber warfare? Is it all this nuclear warfare? Like what the fuck's going to happen? Doom and gloom. That's all I can tell.
I don't think there are going to be any bombs or anything. I think that's the last resort. I think there's so many other things that are going to happen
before they
are already happening. I think Russia, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, and I kind of feel like Putin wants to rebuild it to a certain extent, or they feel like Ukraine is already their territory. I think that's kind of what it is. Like China thinks Taiwan is.
So they're okay. So were they not an independent country before?
I think. I mean, I don't know the whole history, but I know they. I don't know if they were independent, but it's either Ukraine or Poland where like they basically
like that whole area is just always at war.
There was a famine. I think it was in Ukraine, like in the Soviet Union. Stalin wanted to collectivize all the farms, and there was like a huge famine where millions of people like starved to death because they couldn't produce enough food. So like that's kind of like what happened in that area of the world. Just,
okay.
So I don't know. There's like so many cultural things that we are like I definitely don't know enough about, but I don't know what's gonna happen.
We'll see.
I almost feel like it's a little bit of fear mongering. Like something could happen.
By who though? Like the U.S.
By our media. Like I think there were moments where like even like the president of Ukraine, I don't remember his name, but he was kind of saying like, "What are y'all doing? Like, why are y'all saying this in y'all news? Like, it's not that serious." But this was weeks ago. Like we were taking it more seriously here
than they were over there.
Than they were over there. Like they would be in the city and like stores are still open, like
retention, viewership, retention, all that stuff. It's so hard to see what's real and what's not because everything is manipulated, everything is monetized.
It's all through a lens.
Everything is just through a lens. What lens? Yeah. Speaking of Russia and stuff like that, we have a guy that was sending some stuff in our group chat the other day about Chernobyl. Have y'all seen these pictures of two-headed deers?
What?
Yeah, supposedly these, because of all the fallout and the residual nuclear toxins or nuclear waste that's there, all these animals are growing into these random things. And I didn't think this was real.
That's
and I
fake.
was like,
that's fake.
That's what I was saying, but he was saying that I need to look this up, and I kind of got scared. Apparently, there's this thing where all the wildlife in that area is becoming mutated, and this is supposed to be a antlerless two-headed deer. Would that be a doe? And then he was sending this as well. This is a calf
with multiple legs.
This is a spider calf. He was saying,
my God.
"Yeah, I don't know."
Calf.
When I was playing Call of Duty, and you have to go run throughout there. I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, I didn't see those either.
We didn't have the pixels for it yet.
Yeah, there you go. All right. You think the goats have beards? Have goatees?
That's where they get goatee from, huh?
I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to relate back to the woman with the beard.
Is that Bezos?
Yeah, okay. So Bezos. So there's just been this thing going on around recently.
I like
He
that
wants to according okay. So we'll start this off right. Bezos is building this super yacht and he wants to tear down this historic bridge that's happening right now. People don't want that to happen. So nearly 3,000 people plan to throw rotten eggs at Bezos' $500 million super yacht. According to Money Control, residents of the Dutch port city of Rotterdam are not pleased with the plan to temporarily dismantle a historic bridge to allow billionaire that's my cats going crazy. I'll just ignore them in the background. Excuse me, Jeff Bezos' super yacht to pass. A group of locals has organized an event to throw rotten eggs at Amazon's founder's super yacht. If he ends up forcing Rotterdam's iconic
It's like something out of The Onion.
bridge, the Onion. Yeah, it seems like it. So apparently, over 2,800 people already signed it.
It's like
Local
a Facebook.
peasants
It's a
throw
Facebook
eggs at-
invitation.
It's like one of those things, and the picture is just literally him.
It looks like his head looks like an egg. Literally.
It seems like a pretty ignorant move, but I guess if it's done right, I mean,
But they're like dismantling it from the past and then they're rebuilding it.
it. That's how wealthy he is.
I don't think he's even paying for it. I think there's someone else.
What?
It's not it's not the city. That's what I know. I'm pretty sure it's not the city at the very least. Like it's
Oh,
not an expense on the people that live there,
Well, he would be paying for it,
except for like the fact that you can't go
but
across the bridge. without
he's going to be paying for it. But
think so.
the whole thing is that people don't want to take apart the historic bridge.
I thought they were destroying it.
But they are going to
He's crashing
building and
into it.
build it back.
But I'm saying as long as you put it back.
Okay,
It's like your
Picture
Legos.
this.
You take
Imagine
it apart.
this, you
and
live
then
in New
put it
York
back.
City, and Tony Stark needs to build some spaceship through there, and he needs to dismantle the Statue of Liberty. You think that people are going to be cool with that? Like, think about it like
Statue
as
of
that.
Liberty.
I mean, they can move it.
You wanna-
That's all they're doing is moving it.
But it's the fact. It's iconic. It's been there forever.
guess.
You know what I'm
He's putting
saying?
a battering ram on the front and he's just demolishing it. That's what he's doing.
Okay, see, we're gonna get this is false news you're reporting right here. I'm gonna teach you how to do all the podcast stuff. What's that gonna do to Amazon stock? What you think?
Nothing. It's just gonna
The
keep
drop in
going
the
up.
bucket.
Have you ever seen those pictures of like Amazon's facilities out in like impoverished parts of the world, where it's like this brand new facility, and they will be in the middle of like some slums of another country? That shit is crazy. They're just like trying to buy the cheapest labor and the cheapest land that they can do to fulfill these orders, and it's just like this nice ass amazing facility, and then these trash ass shacks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Rams' new stadium was in LA. All the homeless people in LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What
Apparently,
happened with
apparently there was a big issue with like people getting there, and then there's just like hundreds of just homeless people just outside because of the problem over there.
That's LA.
And it's like,
What do you do? What do you do?
well,
to
it's
fix
just like
that?
it's like that juxtaposed with the $1 billion facility that you just built.
That always comes down to my argument of like, it's not an argument, it's a question of whose problem are homeless people. 'Cause there's fucking people. They matter. They're important people. Just like life has not worked out for them, or they made some poor choices in life and they're struggling to get back, or their family just has made poor choices. Doesn't matter. Whatever situation they've ended up in is just unideal for them. I mean, whose fault is that? Should the government care for them, try and help them out? Should people, all these things? That's one of those deep thoughts that I think when I walk past all these homeless people, you can't help but not to feel bad, because like that could happen to anyone. Like, you ever seen like The Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's ways out of it, but sometimes you have to take advantage of opportunities that might not
That's-
necessarily be there.
It's more the exception than the rule, though.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, I mean, obviously that being
like
the case.
telling people, like telling a homeless person, "Oh, you just go get a job." It's not really that simple.
Yeah, well, who's gonna hire a person without a house that doesn't have transportation, that can't get access to showers,
or
all these
has
things?
like potentially mental issues or whatever you have going
Well,
on in their life.
You're supposed to prevent this from happening in the first
Exactly.
place, which is like, and now that you're at this point, yeah, it's a
How do you fix it?
massive problem. Like, it shouldn't happen in the first place. Like, there's a reason it happens there and not
Well, what
necessarily
do you think the answer is to not letting that happen?
better economic policy. But I mean, that's a whole rabbit hole. I don't live there, but I mean, the answer to the need for housing is to build more housing, and the harder they make that, the less housing
Well,
there's going to be.
housing prices are like way up now, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it
because
harder to
there's
buy
a
a house,
lot of
even just for regular people?
restrictions. There's a lot of restrictions there on building things.
Mhm.
Some for good reasons, like
In LA
earthquakes.
specifically, you're
Like,
talking
there's certain
about?
things you should do, but
You're talking in LA specifically?
yeah, like just in California or
California.
like places that are typically more progressive, where they in their head they're like, well, we should help these people. Let's do this policy. Let's do this policy, and they don't. There's like unintended consequences to the policies that you don't see.
There's always going to be unintended consequences to like any policy you make.
And I think instead of like trying to help, they fucking spend more money on trying to like eradicate people, like buying property that they reuse, even though it might not have been theirs, or doing like the stupid like anti-homeless benches where they just
with
make
like
it,
the little.
They give an incentive for people to be homeless. I'm not saying anyone wants to be homeless, but like
no, they don't give it.
No, they're giving incentives to not be homeless.
So it's always that counter argument. It's like,
when they block the benches, you say?
Yeah.
Or they put like
You ever
spikes on like the little
I've
flat
seen that,
areas.
yeah.
you ever seen where they're like spike the whole underpass of a place so like no one can sleep there? Like they go out of their way to make it more cruel for people. I get it's also you're trying to protect everyone because if people are living on an underpass, people are probably doing drugs, all kinds of stuff, running around. There's traffic. Somebody might get hit, somebody might get killed, all that stuff. You're trying to protect your investments, which is the same reason people put the little spikes that protect, stop pigeons from landing on their buildings and all that stuff. But it's just kind of like, it seems like money not spent well.
If that money was just spent to help that person not become homeless in the first place, it wouldn't be a problem to begin with.
But then it kind of comes down to the fact where I argue again, it's like whose fault is it that they're homeless and whose responsibility is
To me, it's
that?
like not. It's more about you have to make the right environment and conditions for people to help themselves. Like at a certain point, you can't. At a certain point, when something's so expensive, like it all comes back to the money for me.
Well,
But
speaking of money, going back to expensive and giving people what they need to take care of themselves in the situations, Coachella has dropped all COVID related regulations. It's just going to be a super spreader. They're not going to check anything.
Normal. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be normal.
They're not going to have any masks. You don't have to have vaccinations. You don't have to have anything. I guess we'll see what happens from it. But I mean, it's a pretty damn risky move.
They're doing this because just like all the other places are loosening up restrictions right now.
They were shitting on like celebrities because they weren't wearing masks at the Super Bowl too.
Okay,
The same thing.
Yeah, but that's like one of those things where it's like they require everyone to do it, but celebrities. But I guess
was there restrictions at the Super Bowl? I don't even know.
supposedly, yeah, everyone had to, but the
Really?
celebrities didn't. Yeah, even the kids and stuff like that.
I didn't even know that.
And that's been a big.
Actually, I'm curious about this. Have y'all been seeing the trucker thing?
Yes, dude.
That's why that's happening, because there's actually so much blowback now.
I heard it was something. It was basically not even real truckers. It was people that were basically like people from another country or were hackers or something were inflating the event to make it happen. It wasn't actually truckers to begin with.
Well, can y'all
There's
kind of
like
give some
thousands-
backstory?
thousands
Can
of-
y'all kind of give some backstory on what exactly you're talking about?
So basically, these truckers are like blocking. Was it in LA or New York?
It's in Canada.
Okay, Canada. They're like blocking this main highway just by like the trucks just sitting on the road because they're against like the vaccine mandations.
Okay.
It's really in Canada. Like the bridge was blocked. That was after. It happened in Ottawa, I think was the first place, Ottawa, Canada, where they're like parked. There's like thousands of truckers with their trucks just parked. Like I think they're on the sides of the roads. I think emergency vehicles can still cross and stuff like that. But they're just sitting there and saying, we're not leaving until you stop the mandates. And it had a lot
Who were
to
the
do
mandates for?
I think in Canada, it's different in like the provinces. But I know for the truckers, like they had to have this thing on their phone where when they approach the border, I guess it's within Canada too. The people at the border like know that they're approaching. They know who they are. They know their bio data. They know all this stuff. So that
they have to give like all information to these people.
yeah, like it was affecting the truckers a lot. In addition to just in Canada in general, like all the vaccines.
And is it because the truckers are the people that are traveling the most between these places and stopping and all that stuff?
Well, I mean, they don't want to
It's front
have these
line.
things on. They don't want to have to comply with these things,
But I'm
and they're also
asking-
standing up for, like they're the people who can actually do something about it.
Yeah, well, without truckers and delivering shit, like we don't do
Exactly.
anything. We are a land or like an ocean locked country with no waterways that really go through it besides the Mississippi River. So that's the main means of transportation besides flight in America is how shit gets around is trucks. You're not flying your groceries across the country. Some of it is, but most things are truck driven. And I mean, trains are kind of there too, but predominantly is trucks, and that makes sense. But or is the reason that they are harshly monitored because they're driving to all these different places and on the front lines making connections with all these people? Is that why they had all these regulations in the first place?
No, I don't think. I think it's not even about the truck. It's about the commerce, and it's the way in to track people. To me, that's what they want to do. Like they want to implement these kinds of systems, and this is the way that they're going to get it in without just like forcing people to do certain things.
Using COVID to just...
Yes, they use it as a pretense to like implement this kind of thing.
And what is their goal with this? potentially just collect
This is gonna lead
information.
us into the guy Klaus Schwab that I was telling you about.
Yeah. The
So-
Antichrist.
What?
Okay, so if you see this guy, he looks like a Bond villain.
Well, hold on.
Pull 'em
Finish.
up,
Wrap
pull 'em
that
up, pull
up.
'em up.
Wrap up what you were
Well,
saying.
Oh, well, they're just having a massive protest with truckers right now, particularly in Canada. It's actually happening in other places in the world, but mostly in Canada right now. And the Prime Minister Trudeau, he's been like making speeches. Like it's been happening for like at least 2 weeks, I think. Truckers said they're going to stay there until they get what they want. And like he's slowly been ramping up.
You just made a full circle moment. So like I follow so much random shit on YouTube that I actually follow a trucker, and he's just been posting updates of like food in the back of his truck, and he's just like, here I am, day whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I
Yeah.
guess that's what's going
what it
on.
is.
Yeah.
So he's just living in the
He's
back of his
been-
cabin. This one dude that I happen
Yeah.
to be following on YouTube, I missed that whole news cycle. That
There's
was happening.
so much to it. That's happening. They tried to raise money with GoFundMe because people were calling them like economic terrorists, calling them Nazis, like the usual like slurs you throw at people when you don't agree with what they're doing.
Everybody's
Right.
a Nazi when they don't agree with you.
GoFundMe decided, you know what, we're shutting this down. You can't send money. We're gonna give this money to a charity or something. Like they wanted to just give it based on their discretion. Like take the
Damn.
money and give it away.
And who was giving money to these people?
People all over the world.
Wait, to the truckers?
To the truckers, it was a GoFundMe to like fund them like being able to stay out there. And GoFundMe tried to do that. They started to get legal backlash, and so okay, we're
Well, yeah, because that just
refund.
allows them to stay there longer.
Now they're just refunding it, and they don't want them to raise money for it. So people started sending Bitcoin, and so they've been raising money through that.
Full circle.
But like the Prime Minister of Canada, he's just been slowly just ramping up like rhetoric about it. He's like, we got at the beginning, he was like, there's a fringe minority of truckers who are, in this town. They're stopping our commerce, this and that. Like he had a tweet where he called them all the different phobia names, all these people doing this kind of thing. And like, it's gotten to the point where like they're starting to arrest people. Like he's placed like an emergency act in the area. Like they want to shut it down.
Yeah.
So it's slowly just been ramping up.
How do you shut that down? Like, how do you fix the
Go
problem?
in there and arrest the people because technically they're
You have to
disrupting
arrest
the
people. I mean, I don't know.
economy.
That's the thing. Like they have so much power. That's what I love about it. Like they actually came together, all the truckers.
That's the thing is like we don't have unions anymore. They kind of don't exist, and it's just one of those things where like when you show people getting together how much power you actually have.
Yeah.
That was like the whole thing with Kellogg.
What happened with Kellogg?
Like basically all of their workers went on strike, and they
What?
had just random people making Kellogg stuff.
Mhm.
And I saw a bunch of Twitter posts of like, I found this just completely unrelated thing in my cereal.
in my
box.
cereal,
Like,
like a fucking
Oh yeah, those are all you never
a
know.
pretzel or some
if
shit.
Those are true or not.
Anyway, so who's the but I wanted to talk about lastly this is what
Yeah, I forgot we were talking about this. Okay, this guy. Basically,
Klaus Schwab.
you're asking what they want to do. Okay,
Yeah.
this guy, I think it would be the president or like the leader of what's called the World Economic Forum.
So Klaus Martin Schwab is a German engineer and economist best known as the founder of the
Founder and executive chairman.
chairman of the
This
World
is like the
Economic
club
Forum.
for all the powerful people in the world.
It's like Bohemian Grove.
Yes, except it's all like, I mean, if you have power economically, financially, socially, like celebrities, like this World Economic Forum, they go to a place in Switzerland and they meet up and they kind of just talk about what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
it's like Jeff Epstein's Island.
This is the public version of that. But basically, like they plan out what's going to happen on like large scales, like World Economic Forum. Like Jeff Bezos will go here because he controls Amazon, like these kinds of companies and people. And so they kind of sort out what they're going to do. And if you think about China, they want what China has, or they want a mix.
Like what
China's
does
very
necessarily China have?
communism.
authoritarian social credit score, track you on your phone.
So they can prevent the shit like what's happening in Canada, I guess. Like they want full government control.
They have it. It's basically like it's a version of like state capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think like Soviet Union was communist, we're capitalist, if you want to think in those terms. And China's kind of opened up a little bit, but right now they have this thing where it's like you can be an entrepreneur like in a city, in a town. It's like a weird system. But once you get to the upper echelons, like there's a guy named Jack Ma that started Alibaba. It's like the Amazon of China, basically.
It
Got
like
to a
Wish
certain
kinda,
point where
right?
like the government owns a portion of all the companies. Like basically you can have a company, but the government is a 51% stakeholder.
So you're not the actual owner.
This kind of system around the world.
And he is the leader of this.
He's the leader. He looks like a Bond villain.
He does.
You should hear him talk. He like talks in German, and I swear every video I've seen is like cameras like up at him like an evil villain.
What is so I see all these like kind of clickbaity things. Is why Klaus Schwab is pushing critical race theory. They're saying he's not the economic founder, and I see a lot of stuff. So I guess it's in the economist world, he's really an important figurehead currently.
Well, see, that's the thing. He's not really like
He's just an influencer.
I mean, he has power. He has power to the extent where he can influence the people who do have power. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about.
That's what
it's
an
a forum.
influencer is. Yeah,
Like they come together and kind of talk about things. But
yeah, kind of like the UN or like United. Yeah,
it's an international
United
agency,
Nations.
like
Right.
that. And like this international, like if you look on their website, I don't know if it's still there. I'm pretty sure I've seen this. Part of their like plan, they say like, oh, in the future, we have biotech, we have all these things that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to merge with technology. Oh, and by the way, the United States is not going to be the superpower of the world. Like they say those kind of things, and their plans are to like take wealth from the United States and like kind of spread it out across the world.
I mean, if it's not careful, that kind of looks like the path we're going down already.
Because
as other
that's what it
countries.
is. Like that's where the propaganda and stuff comes from. Like if you own a giant corporation, a lot of those corporations own media companies, like corporate media, and that's kind of what influences a lot of the coverage of things.
That's like the whole thing that Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post,
yeah.
and all the the post articles of him, post articles talking about him, like comparing the old ones, are like completely different.
You just control the narrative that way.
Yeah, exactly. He has a book. This dude wrote a book called COVID-19: The Great Reset, and it's basically a bunch of it's like corporate jargon, basically. But it's like corporate jargon, but the gist of it is, we're going to control from the top down, and we kind of want this system. This is what we got to do to save the planet. Blah blah blah. They want to control things in that way.
I mean, social
and then he
media is
wrote a
kind of
book.
already doing that.
He has another book came out after COVID called The Great Narrative. I've never read it. I don't know what he says exactly, but he's like they say it out loud. They say all these
They're
things.
becoming less and less.
So is he the Antichrist, or is Tom from MySpace the Antichrist?
That's a close phrase.
Because I feel like Tom has kind of brought all this shit in. Like Tom started all this
Tom's
stuff.
fault.
Yeah. He was your first friend on MySpace.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the forefront, like the head fronter of that MySpace shit.
What is he doing now?
I don't know. I think he sold it. I think he sold
Does
MySpace.
Can you still go on MySpace?
site
Yeah,
now.
you can. It's kind of like a music site, but for like context, it was kind of the first very, very popular, easy to use social media website. And then of course Facebook came after that because everyone got tired of MySpace. And we've seen what happens with Facebook and Instagram, all that stuff, which is all meta stuff now. But it kind of all started from that central hub. He's the seed.
Thomas the Seed.
Thomas the seed. I guess that's enough doom and gloom potential stuff.
What are you talking about? BlackRock.
What the hell's
What's that?
BlackRock?
They own the most assets in the world. It's like a money manager.
Is BlackRock in trouble?
They probably hang out with Klaus a lot.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like where all the pension money goes, basically. So all the
BlackRock is
people
somewhere
work.
overseas. It's an actual place, right?
What is it?
BlackRock. It's an actual place.
I don't know. It's just I know it's a company called BlackRock.
Oh, okay.
But
Continue.
basically, all the people who pay 401ks, all that money goes into pension plans. It's probably administered by either BlackRock or some company like BlackRock, and then they technically have all like the voting power in these companies.
It's like the Grammy board almost kind of deal. Like they get to decide where it goes to and shit like that. Who gets the award, which is the 401k.
Like you give them the money, they put the money in, and they kind of control. They have like 10. I don't know the number. Trillions of dollars.
So pay into 401k or store your money in a mattress or invest in cryptocurrency.
Those are our options.
Just buy Bitcoin. Yeah.
Just buy Bitcoin?
Yep.
Is that the wave?
Yeah.
All right. So doom and gloom, I guess.
Segment is over.
Yeah, this segment is over. We'll wrap up the episode, I guess, with a few things. Most importantly, this is coming from Delaney, our super producer again. I did want to talk about Valentine's Day. So obviously I said I don't really care about Valentine's Day. I don't really care about all these holidays. And I kind of like have that relationship with my girlfriend, luckily, and my mom too, and my sister, where it's just like, look, these are just days. They happen. All I do is work during these days, so they aren't important to me. I'm still going to make time to spend quality time with y'all and go out of my way to do this. But like, they're just, again, days created to me to spend money, to do all this stuff, to post online, see who's doing what, see who won Valentine's Day, who did all this stuff. But that being said, I'm gonna put y'all on the hot seat. What did y'all do for y'all ladies for Valentine's Day?
Can we skip me?
Yeah.
Just skip me for now.
Oh no.
All right. That sounds like you're in trouble. But
How
I'm
about,
gonna fix it though.
you're gonna fix it. Well, you want to talk about fixing it?
I'm kind of on the same like wavelength as you. It's like it's an arbitrary day, but at the same time, I see the flip side. It's like women just and people just in general, like they want to be showed that they are cared for and like put on a pedestal for like a day, just to show that like you're important. You know, I get that, but I don't know.
That's where I think people got this fucked up. Hold on, let me get on this ledge real quick because I don't know how Valentine's Day has turned into a woman's holiday, but why the fuck is it a woman's holiday?
That's a good
Like,
question.
why is it always like you have to give the gift to
We're getting some
women?
looks from Delaney.
Well, that's okay. She can maybe tell us why it is that way, but also like not necessarily. So how does it work in same-sex relationships? Like I served a bunch of same-sex people on like at my tables, and like I really wanted to ask like who was taking who out, and I've kind of was watching who was picking up the tab and stuff like that, and I was trying to see a pattern. There's not really a pattern there. Maybe they're more progressive, but I'm still confused at how is it evolved into the day where traditionally the man gives the woman gifts. Why is it not both? And it is
should
both
be
in a lot
both.
of places.
Like, it is both.
It is both, but it's always like the man is expected to go way above and beyond, and then you can just like the man just gets some shitty like gift necessarily. Not saying I did. I actually got a cool little wallet that I'm happy about because I'm so particular and like about everything in my life that as soon as I get something, it has to be perfect for me to adopt it into my life. But like, you know, the man gets a shitty little box of chocolate or a shitty whatever. Here's a blowjob because it's a quick way to give you that. But why is it never?
It's
other way
more
around?
okay. So not so much that, but like I'm gonna just tell you what Maddie did for me. So like we're
Wait, what you said?
well, no. So like she was very heartfelt. Like she wrote me a little thing, made a little handmade card. It was cool. And so like she bought little passes for us to go to the aquarium and just hang out and take some edibles and just chill.
So she got you an awesome ass thing for both of y'all to do,
Yeah,
and you fucked up.
Cool.
I fucked up. I'm gonna fix it.
See, that's the thing. If you're gonna feel this way, you have to communicate this with your partner. You have to make sure you and your partner have the same expectations. I'm not saying that I think exactly what I do is right. I'm just sharing my opinion on it. And thankfully, like me and my partner, we meet somewhere in the middle where like she does care a lot about these things, and but not to like the superficial way. I need to show this off. She just wants to feel appreciated. But at the end of the day, everyone always wants to.
That's what
And
it is
kinda
at the core, though. Like, it's just about feeling appreciated. For
my goal is to make my partner feel appreciated, or any of my friends, every time I hang out with them, because I truly do. Like if people are still in my life at this point, I really do appreciate them. But Alec, yeah, let's kind of jump off that. What did you do?
I got some flowers, some candy, 2 bottles of wine, and we got sushi, right? Didn't we do that? We got sushi.
Yeah. Delaney, was that enough?
I spent a lot of money.
Yeah, that's enough. Okay, so maybe it's not like about doing. It depends on who your partner is and what their expectations is. But I guess basically this is to say, fellas or ladies, if you know what you're getting yourself into. She says she paid for his haircut.
Yeah.
How much
He's
is
got
the
a nice haircut. You've been cutting your hair by yourself for like years now. Still,
I did that one time.
Oh, really?
During lockdown.
I thought you've been
never
cutting
did it
your hair
again.
by yourself. That wasn't like an insult or anything.
No.
But
My dad
this
does
is
that.
yeah.
That's his own hair, yeah.
So this is the thing to say next year. Future actually put an anti-Valentine's Day song out recently. It was talking about how Valentine's Day is the worst day of the year, basically, because he talks to so many women and they expect so much from him because he has all this money. But it's like not even like that. It's just if you in a situation, the perfect time to dump them and then were you thinking about it next year is before Valentine's Day because you don't want to get caught up in all that mess. And you want to also communicate, if you plan on staying in your relationship, communicate these problems with your partners. Communication is key. Because you may think your partner wants this big extravagant thing, stress over it, and they don't want it. Or they might want it and you think they don't. Like what you just said. Now you're in a sticky situation.
Yeah.
And I guess like it all determines, the smallest things could be the most important things to other people. So
Yeah, it doesn't have to
Valentine's
be
Day
about the
happened.
money.
Yeah. A lot of money. It's the thought that counts. Is there any truth to that, you'll think?
Yeah. Wait.
Like I thought about doing.
I think it's one of those bullshit things. Like they say size doesn't matter. Like that's just one of the bullshit things people
it
say.
is true, but you can also abuse that and just do something half-ass and say, "Oh, but it's the thought."
It's the thought that counts. I bought you a card. What y'all think about Valentine's Day cards, Delaney? What do you think
got
about
one.
those?
Can
Yes
I
or
get
no?
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
At least,
so
right.
at least,
corny.
Y'all
at
need
least
to
as
take
you were
advice from
thinking
me.
of them.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe so. Maybe I need to take advice from you. What kind of Valentine's Day card did you get? Did it have a little wiener dog on it or cats?
What did it even say? It said, I'm definitely gonna remember. It says, what was it? Do you remember? Loving her is the easiest thing I have to do. So,
Yeah. I
very
kind of
simple.
If
Yeah.
that's all you had to do in a relationship, though.
I wrote it on an index card.
I actually got this cool candle that I want to make too. Nikki bought it for me. It's like a make your own candle kit, and I really like. We kind of have this thing. Candles are kind of our, I guess, one of our things. But anyway, in other news, this is really big news. That's the wrong button. There you go. I'm gonna cheer for me because I found the right button. This is big news. Rihanna says new music in E-interview straight from our producer Delaney, which is fucking dope because we thought that.
She wasn't going to make any.
I mean, I doubt she is, but she might. She says so. Would they call her the Navy? Is that what like her group is?
Why? Why is it Navy?
It's a big. I forgot. It's been years now. Kyle, can you look that up, or maybe we can get it sent in. She also says new Jordan Peele movie Nope is a sci-fi horror film releasing July 22nd.
You saw the trailer on the Super Bowl?
No,
It was,
I didn't.
it was really good.
I saw the trailer for the
excited.
Marvel movie. What was it? Doctor Strange and DC and all that shit. There is the whole Kanye's thing, which I want to kind of stay out. I posted about it the other day. Kanye's going crazy, but also like I feel like he's kind of just speaking his mind. He kind of went back and cleaned up a lot of his shit. I think it's a man that was in control of everything in his life is losing all control of everything in his life, and he doesn't know how to handle it.
That whole situation is just like, okay, I'm gonna give you my take. So,
Yeah.
like,
Because this,
if it wasn't for like the having like Kim and Kanye and all them just having the status they do,
Yeah.
it would literally just be like an abusive relationship.
okay, but that's the thing is though, like it puts light on these situations. Okay, I guess we'll fucking dive into it. The cool thing is it puts light on these real situations, and like these situations kind of hit close to me, like people that come from split families and stuff like that, where these are real things you deal with, and people don't know that these are real things that happen. Now, obviously, this might be an extreme thing. Kanye is just very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to. No, I don't want to say he's just. I guess you can use that, but he's very particular. He's controlling and stuff like that, and
But that's toxic in a relationship.
yeah, it is.
And it's not even like
And
he's
like
an
I
ex.
said,
He's an ex.
yeah,
You
he
know.
lost everything. You look like a loser, fellas. When your lady breaks up with you, move on.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. If you try and go back to her and she says no, it's like it's over. Go hit the gym. Go
This
lift
is
the
all
weights.
about
Get the
him
glow
like
up.
sending shit
It's-
about Pete Davidson, right?
Oh, is Skeet Davidson you talking about?
I guess I don't know the whole
Yeah,
situation.
He's
he
literally
posted
just like
some-
shitting on
I saw
him.
the pictures, like
He
some of the
posted
pictures.
so
and stuff,
many
yeah.
memes of like it's everyone against everyone.
Didn't he make a diss in his new song about it too?
Something like that. I think it's all a rollout for his new album that's coming up at the end of this month.
Oh, it's marketing.
Yeah, that's what
Pete Davidson is on the album.
It might be. At the end of the day, I think, like I said, it's all marketing. People want to keep talking about and talking
He's just
about him.
he's given
He
Pete
did-
Davidson's more stuff for his new special.
I guess. He did put out a new song with Fabio 4 and Alicia Keys. It's called City of Gods. It's a really good track. It's off the upcoming new album, Donda 2, that's coming out. So when that comes out, we're going to give you all 4 review.
Oh, Delaney did my job.
Yeah,
That's what the
Delaney
Navy
has
is.
a job right here. Navy gets its name from the lyric in Rihanna's rated R era song, G4L. We are an army, better yet, a navy, better yet, crazy, guns in the air. The name was solidified after she appeared in
That's
the
right.
2012 film
That's what
Battleship.
I had to do with.
Wait, she was also in that film with the giant robots. Was it Pacific Rim? You know what I'm talking
I
about?
thought that
though?
was the same movie.
No, Battleship is, you know, the little game Battleship where you
Oh,
put the
that's what
shit.
that
They
was.
made a real life movie about putting the things in the shit.
Okay, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
it was all around
but
the
Pacific
same time.
Rim was like the robot fighting movie, and she was in that too. Oh, that's cool. One last thing, or not one last thing, but some other news too. Olympics wrapping up the episode. I guess we're getting to that point. Olympics, Camilla Valeriya, I don't know. She's a figure skater from Russia. Tests positive for performance-enhancing drugs. And she's cleared to compete. Now, the reason that's a whole issue is because one of our original episodes, me and Zane were talking about Sha'Carri Richardson, which is I think she was a runner from LSU. It was the woman that, she was very eccentric. She was like the only woman running out there that was fast with nails done. She had her hair on all the time. She was just like a woman that was representative of a lot of other women competing in something that everyone watched. But they stopped her from competing because she had tested positive for marijuana usage, which isn't a performance. Yeah. She couldn't qualify.
It was like a qualifying thing, and she tested positive.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, is like weed isn't a performance enhancing drug in the first place, and they didn't let her perform, but they let this one did. And of course, it comes from Russia,
which already has issues with.
Russia's probably like, if y'all don't let her perform, we're gonna nuke y'all.
Yeah, but like Russia already has a history of the whole performance enhancing drug.
Yeah,
issues.
they like couldn't even show their flag or something.
Yeah, they were like I thought they were banned for a little bit.
I don't know.
They
I remember that.
They
Yeah,
took that time to come up
documentary.
with a new plan. And
Yeah.
failed. You know who's behind this?
Who?
Klaus.
Klaus isn't that a dude's name from Phineas and Ferb? No, that's Doofenshmirtz or whatever.
He's the same. It's the same guy. It's based
He's
on
the
him.
same guy.
Yeah.
Does he live in a giant tower?
Yeah.
He gets fooled by a fucking platypus.
Davos, Switzerland. That's where it is.
You don't strike me as the type of person that ever watched Phineas and Ferb.
I watched it. Yeah. Not like. I mean, I've seen some episodes, I guess.
Yeah. What was your favorite like cartoon growing up?
Growing up,
And in late adulthood too, or early adulthood?
man, there are a bunch of them.
Okay, well, what's the last cartoon you watched? That's actually more interesting to me. Like, what was like your switch that was like, all right, I'm not watching this shit anymore.
Oh, man, that's even
I'm
harder.
going on the internet.
I mean, there's cartoons for adults nowadays.
I'm talking. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about Alex specifically because he doesn't really absorb too much nonfiction stuff. It's all about learning.
I don't know. It's like a weird time.
It's
in life.
Megamind.
Where would that transion have been?
Like when you start
when you stop watching 500 Days of Summer and you stop listening to John Mayer.
That was way after. I'm saying like cartoons. That's pretty old.
Is it Dexter's Laboratory?
I watched that. I watched Rugrats. Fuck, what else?
No, like
Rocket Power.
Rocket Power was dope. But you were young. I'm just curious because I was
remember like the most recent one.
Do you know what happened to you to where the point where you kind of stopped absorbing all that mass entertainment stuff and just focused on what you deem as real world important stuff?
I mean, it was around like 2018, just for some reason, because I remember it was like my last semester in college, and like I started reading an economics book, and now I just read shit that would put other people to sleep. That's like where the transition was.
Do you think that there was like a defining moment, like something caused that? Was it like you graduating school potentially and saying like, okay, this is the time to get my life really on track. This is my time to take life more serious and stop wasting time? Or was it just something you naturally
found? It almost
found?
like wasn't a deliberate choice. It was just like my interest changed for some reason. Like I got disillusioned with like just some of the cultural things happening. Like it just seemed like so silly to me. Like there's so many other important things, and like I don't know what the one moment would be. I got exposed to a lot of different, like, like the first podcast I started watching a lot was Rogan, like a lot of people.
Right.
Like just an introductory thing.
I mean, he's been doing it for 12 years now?
Yeah.
So that's kind of...
and people think like, why you listen to this guy? Like he lifts weights, UFC, like what does he have to say? And it's like, it's not about him, it's about his guest.
Yes, right.
And there were so many guests that just like really changed my mind on things. There's actually one guy, which is he's not on Rogan. You ever heard of the guy, Peter Schiff?
No.
He's a guy that's all about gold.
Okay.
It's like a gold bug. And one of the videos he had,
A gold bug? Is that like
Dr. Evil?
Yeah, like someone who's like really really into like gold as money,
Yeah.
And
Old
there's
school
this one
motherfuckers.
remember back in, it was around 2008 2009, they had like Occupy Wall Street. And they had a bunch of people on Wall Street like shaking their fists at all the bankers or whatever, and he put this video out. It was him with a microphone. He went out into the crowd, and the name of the video is called I'm the 1%, ask me anything, basically. And he was just walking around the crowd saying like, okay, so what's your problem? And they would talk about like, oh, system's fucking these people over. And he was like, no, actually, you got to go to the Federal Reserve and you got to talk to him. He's explaining from his perspective as someone who has a lot of money. He's explaining what the real problem is. And I was listening to it. I was like, well, he's making a lot of sense. And that kind of just sent me on this whole different direction of like seeing what really makes a difference in the world, I guess. And it's money. I mean, people are right when they say it's money.
Yeah.
But to know the specifics is where it gets like, oh, it actually is. Like it really is. And this is how it works. And that's the answer.
Which
Like,
is
you kinda
that's
get to a
kind of
point where-
wraps up the whole thing where like, oh, why I like you on the podcast and I like you as a friend is because I kind of straddle that middle ground of realizing that shit is very important, but I also see the value in entertainment. Like without things that entertain me, life has no joy besides learning new things. I need things to distract me. It's a form of therapy. It's a form of pure entertainment. So without that balance, to me, you're either so far like off to the side where you're just completely enveloped in a drama, or you're so far off to the other side where you are militant in the fact that you will only absorb content that will progress you forward in life. But to me, it's not about progressing forward. It's about the journey and learning as you go, getting joy from both of those things and balancing that line, which is what
it's
like
about the balance. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, and that's kind of what it is. Like, the balance was only pop culture. Like everything all the time. Like, no one cared about anything important. Like, you'd never discuss what's happening with government, or before like COVID and everything. Now it's the only thing people talk about. But I feel like people are just waking up to it. Like, COVID just slapped everyone in the face. They're like, hey, this can happen. You didn't
it's
know
a
that.
wake up call.
Yeah.
It's a wake up call.
A very fucking needed one.
Like it was for
one.
everybody, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, so you've kind of made this change and you're kind of like this, not different person. You have the same core memories and core values and stuff like that. But how has that changed? Like, let's just say your relationships with the people around you. Like, have you appreciated them more? Do you realize the value? Do you realize the wealth of relationships? Does it make you realize all that stuff?
Made me realize, like, one thing I did was I got off social media.
Yeah.
And that, like, now it's about quality over quantity, I guess. Like, real relationships matter a lot more. Like, I don't spend so much time just absorbing other people's stuff that they put out.
Right.
Like, there's so much time that you put into that. And when you cut it out, like, I wouldn't be reading books if I still had Facebook. I would be scrolling on Facebook.
Right.
But now I can sit down and, like, actually think about things. Like, it's
Form your own
freeing.
opinions, live your own reality instead of absorbing other people's reality.
Yeah. And, like, I can be very confident in my opinions, I guess, but it's like, you gotta just work shit out sometimes. Like, if you just follow everyone else, like, you don't even have your own opinion, and that's way worse than being wrong to me. Like, you have to be different.
There's a lot of value in what you just said. I feel like I know a lot of people that don't know who they are because they don't have their own opinions. They don't have their own identity. And that turns me off more than anything, not necessarily sexually, just as a person. Like, I will separate myself from a person because I don't necessarily like who they are because they don't stand for anything. They don't have their own morals. They don't have their own ideas. They don't have their own theology. Who are they if you remove the few things that they do from that person? I think we all kind of know that, like, people like that in our lives, but we kind of just, people tolerate them. But what I'm trying to get at is, if you, a simple saying, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything or whatever. I might have said that wrong, but it's kind of, it goes back to that. And it kind of seems like you are learning about all this investing and all this other stuff, and you've took that time and opportunity to invest back in yourself. Like, you are making yourself more valuable almost because you are investing time into things that increase your value.
Yeah, it's again, like, it's not even a deliberate thing. At a certain point, it just becomes like this.
Natural.
I want to learn about this thing. I want to, like, have this knowledge. Like, it's not. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know how to put it, but, and the reason I talk about Bitcoin a lot is because it's where the end of the road is. Like, you learn all these things, and you kind of, what I realized is, like, all of these problems people talk about, a lot of it is rooted in the dysfunctional money. Like, what doesn't involve money? Nothing. Like, it's everything, and it's broken, and people don't realize how broken it is. So when, like, you talk about people, like, I don't know, it's a whole rabbit hole. But
you're right in the point about money, because even, like, it goes back to what we're talking about Valentine's Day. It's the crux of everything. It's how much money did you spend on your loved one instead of what quality did you. And I think that's kind of what you're saying is, like, instead of how much money, it's more of kind of like smarter money.
I guess what I want to say is, like, it's actually a simple fix. A lot of these things. It's actually not, we don't have to have this massive government program to, like, plan everyone's lives. We could actually just
do it ourselves,
not deflate the money and not dilute everyone's money. Like, it really is that simple. And that's why You look at the chart of Bitcoin, that's why it's up fucking 30,000% or whatever it is. It's because it's real money as opposed to the dollars that are just created at whim by the government. Like it's a lot to understand, but once you understand, it's like they really just print money and spend it on what they want at the expense of everything else.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but you look at the mechanics behind it and you're like,
that's
no,
how it works. That's how
that's
it
really what it is. And they like make it convoluted. So we're like, oh no, we don't actually print money. We do this thing like with the banks. It's kind of complicated, you know.
We collect money every few years and tear it up. So this money is just replacing that money. But what's crazy is that the other day I got paid and I had a $20 bill from 1963. I thought that shit was fake. 1963. That's so old. I don't know how the paper has survived. And they're supposed to take all that money out every few years and do all that shit. But even if it's not physical cash, they can still, just like we got our stimulus checks, they can just put that shit right into your account, which is even more scary. They don't have to go through all that process and print money. They can just snap it into place.
Yeah. I mean, if you think it's a lot of like monetary theory that'll like understanding money itself is what I'm so captured by. It's like this thing that no one really thinks about, but it's so important to everyone's lives.
Probably the most important. Like you have money and you have relationships. And I think those two together are the most important things of how someone will succeed or will achieve what people deem as success or people navigate through life. Those two things can influence your path through life more than anything else, more than religion, more than your beliefs, more than your sexual preferences, more than anything else. Like if you just have the right relationships and the right amount of money, or you're smart with both of those, you can get whatever you want.
It's not even about having more money. It's not about greed. It's about the fact that it's broken and it puts people at a disadvantage. It's not like I want more money. It's like I want a functional system that doesn't put people behind.
You don't want to have to do the work around.
The way I like to describe this, but I think it's a good way to like visualize this. So let's say you have a company. If you want to buy Apple stock, you can go buy Apple stock on a stock exchange. There are this many shares. The total value of the company split up this many ways. That's what a share is. And that's the residual value of Apple. So you own a part of Apple. That's what it is. When you think of like a dollar, that's the same. The dollar is a share of every business that accepts dollars. The American economy, it's basically a share of the American economy, a dollar. So if you think, if they create more of these, it's like diluting shares. It's the same thing, but it's harder to see because when you dilute Apple share, you'll see it in the Apple stock price. But if you dilute the money, it's kind of like spread out everywhere. It's where you don't realize that you're getting screwed until like it becomes so bad, like it's becoming worse now. Like the rate of inflation is getting worse, and it's just going to keep getting worse because they're stuck. And that, like,
you talk some scary stuff, man. You talk
I don't mean to be scary. It's just like
doom and gloom was over, bro.
It's not that it's doom and gloom. It's real world, like real things.
Well,
that's the reality.
If you're not aware of it, you can be blindsided.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you sleep at night?
Easily.
You process all this information and compartmentalize it? Or does it overtake like your personal life and what the things you worry about?
I mean, it's a lot. Not like trying to explain all of it right now. This is just
throwing stuff at the wall.
Months and months of like me just absorbing shit, and now I'm trying to explain it in a quick minute.
This isn't who you are as a person. I know that. Like I know the man you are. Like you've been in my life, but this is what you're focused on. It doesn't control you, but it influences you and the way your life is. So I'm just curious. Like I said, like that's why I was curious. How do you sleep knowing all this stuff, knowing all these things are going on while you're asleep? Like a baby. I guess the more it's one of those things in life. I kind of say this recently. The more you know about things, it's like the more you have to learn because you realize more and more stuff's messed up, and then you have a greater understanding of things. It's like the chase of knowledge becomes.
There's some other quote. It's like the more you know, the sadder you are, or something like that.
Yeah, or that's like the more you know, the more you realize the stuff you don't know.
Like, the more you learn, you realize the extent of your own ignorance, I think is what it is.
Yeah, well, that's what a podcast is all about, talking about random quotes. The Giver. What's The Giver?
Oh, is that something in The Giver?
Is that black and white movie? Yeah, that was a
was a
cool
book.
movie. I never read the book, but that movie was dope. I guess that kind of wraps everything. Also, we got a few more minor news. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott named their baby Wolf. I don't know.
Wolf.
Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know.
So that'd be Wolf.
Was it Dick Wolf?
Scott.
Wolf Scott.
Wolf Jenner. Wolf Scott.
I don't know. Anyway, it's been real. You got anything else, Kyle?
I'm good, man.
You got anything else, Alec? No more doom, no more gloom.
No.
Well, let's wrap this up because I'm gonna go out and have some drinks tonight. But on that note, if y'all saw me last week, we were celebrating our 10th episode. I really got fairly intoxicated, and y'all didn't see me if y'all saw me.
We're gonna have a bunch more podcast guests.
Yeah, apparently we're gonna have a bunch more podcast guests because I asked everyone in the world to come on the podcast. It was just celebrating the 10th episode, man. But I'm gonna go do it again. I'm gonna know my limits and not be crazy. I just don't drink that much anymore. So I've just been busy working on the podcast, busy working on work, and busy working on relationships, like the most important things in my life right now. And I don't really have time to myself too much anymore. So I'm gonna go take some time to myself, and I'm not gonna hold you up anymore. I really appreciate y'all checking in. If y'all like the content today and y'all want to see more, again, please subscribe. If not, don't worry about it. We appreciate you anyway for checking it out. Always remember what it is, what it isn't, what it could be. This has been
Alec.
And Kyle.
And Lane. Thanks for checking us out, y'all. Peace.
Okay.